God's priority is for families. It's up to you and me. Let's put family first. Strong families building strong societies. It's up to you and me. Let's put family first. Marriage between man and woman is what God says. Just follow his direction, that is the only way. Let's build a better Barbados, better families. Happy, secure, safe and stable homes and communities.
Greetings everyone. This is your program, Family and Faith Today. And as usual, we have it with us in our studio, a young man, husband of one wife. But before I actually let the cattle be by, so to speak, I'll introduce myself. My name is Reuel. I'll be your host. And alongside me I have my lovely wife, and I say that deliberately, my lovely wife, Sister Reuel Marville Mathurin. This is your program, Family and Faith Today. And the young man I have in our studio is well known to most Barbadians. He goes by the name Gozzy. But as we were saying, Barbadian parlance, he also has a government name, Arnal Goslin. And Allah has really intentionally made it clear to me that he wants me to mention as well his lovely wife, Miss Natasha Beautiful Goslin. And Arnal, you are the founder of Echo Nation. And before we get into that, before we really let all this information come for our listeners and our viewers, I want my wife to read the information she has before. So go ahead.
Yes, this is FFFB Vision Statement, or better known as Family Faith Freedom Barbados, is a registered charity number 1147. We envisage a nation of strong, healthy families, sustainable development, and true freedom. Our mission is to transform our society by promoting biblical truth, fostering strong, natural families, building healthy communities, and defending true freedom.
Amen. There's a lot to be heard,
Yes.
Now, I would have started by saying that you were the founder of Echo Nation. Now, Echo Nation, and from what you said previous to this program, it is endorsing kingdom culture only. That's the words that go alongside the acronym. And it's a charity that's basically based upon understanding that music and the internet itself, it affects both the mental health and the behavior of our young people. Mm-hmm. Now, our program today is entitled Christianity and the Youth. Christianity and the Youth. Now, Arnold, you're a young man who has been involved in several areas of Barbadian entertainment for the last several years. You're an experienced musician. You have a reputation for being an advocate of issues affecting young people. You also have a strong desire to be an agent of social change in our country. Would you agree with this statement? Listen very carefully. You're a smart young man. Listen to this statement carefully.
Try to flatter me.
Barbadian youth are not interested in either the church or Christianity. Is that statement accurate? Is it going outside the leg stump? Or is it going right over the playing field?
All right, well, let me first say thank you for having me. And
you're welcome, sir.
Listeners out there. And it's really a pleasure to join with you guys in speaking about this. I think we work in the sphere where you focus on families and focusing on the future of Barbados. We are passionate about that. We have been working with young people as an organization, Echo Nation, for over 9 years.
Okay.
And we've been going into schools, we've been going into various areas. And we've also worked with organizations where we've shared the gospel in the same mediums that we talk about, through music, through the internet, through entertainment. And one of the things that we've recognized throughout the years, and that's one of the reasons why we actually started this movement, is that young people are interested in God. They want to know God, they want to know more about God. What they're not interested in is a religious structure that is not relatable to them. So imagine you're a young person, you go to school 5 days a week, and for 5 days a week you sit down in the classroom quietly sometimes, and there's someone standing up in front teaching certain things. When you come to church, you have that same type of environment. But the difference is, in the classroom, if you have a question, you have the opportunity to ask but I don't understand this. I don't understand. Why this? Or why is it that you say this? Or why is it that you say that? In the church, the whole idea, when they see that structure in church, is that I can't question anything. I don't have the opportunity to have a voice. And I don't have an opportunity to contribute. So what we realize is that young people are interested in knowing about God, and we have so many unchurched young people because they think that church is a place that would silence them, is just about conformity, and not a place to allow them to learn more. And it is so important that in this day and age, they have that opportunity to ask questions because they're in an information-driven age. They're surrounded by so much information on social media, on the internet, and if they don't have that room to ask why, it is going to be a situation where they're going to say, like, I can't be confined to this because I can't grow in it.
Wow. I want to get back to this related to faith because there's another program we have aired and that dealt with the same issue. Nonetheless, and let my wife continue. She usually follows up my questions by adding some flesh to the bones of it.
It is true. Why did you take up this role and responsibility for evangelizing to young people?
Young people have been my passion from very young. I was involved in youth leadership even as a teenager. And I grew up being involved, and for years, my passion for youth was something that illuminated everything that I did. But I think what really led to the whole idea of Echo Nation was when I went to Kansas in 2015, I think it was, and it was part of an international movement that basically was carrying the gospel to youth through entertainment and the arts. And when I came back from Kansas, I joined them in St. Vincent. And I was on the grounds in St. Vincent as an artist, but also as a DJ and someone speaking to the students, bringing the gospel to the students in a relative way. And I saw how over 12,000 plus young people gave their hearts to God. That was through schools and communities and so on. And I remember the first community that we went into, we had some young people, no greater than 13, 14. They were DJs on this playing field, and with the sound system playing a whole bunch of filth. And getting smoking, drinking, and all that sort of stuff. So we set up a bigger sound system, and I said, look, I'm going to play my music. So I started to play, Christian dancehall, Christian reggae, hip hop, that type of stuff. And that drew the people to see this. And then with the entertainment, the organization was called Impact World at the time. Well, Impact World. And I saw, witness how these same young people, and people in the community, guys who were doing drugs, guys who were drinking, they came in to see the entertainment. And they received the gospel. And I saw them, same young people, respond to that gospel. And I said, you know what? I want that for my nation. I'm not going to wait till Impact World decides to come to Barbados. I'm going to go right back home, and I'm going to start to do something to see a change in youth. And I've been witnessing how the media has been shaping their identity, has been shaping their influencing their mental health, have been shaping their behavior. And I said, well, this is exactly the area that I deal with as a person involved in technology as well.
Well, I hope all listeners are really taking this information because it's fascinating to me. There's a perception out there that young people are not interested in anything to do with God. But what you just said validates the fact that the gospel is always going to be applicable in various generations, yeah? Now, Gozzy, how do you respond to this comment? Contemporary gospel music, let me repeat that. Contemporary gospel music serves merely as entertainment for the youth rather than a true expression of Christ's gospel. You can see the serious expression covering his face there.
I listened to the question intently because
it's a comment.
Well,
it's a comment. Yeah.
Intentionally because I want to have a clear understanding of the terms that you use.
There were intentional terms used in that statement.
Right. Because some people have a different idea of what is gospel music, and what is Christian music,
Correct.
and what is inspirational music. Now, some people may argue gospel music is about Christ, points people directly to Christ. Christian music may not necessarily have the message of the gospel in terms of salvation and so on in it, but it represents a Christian worldview or biblical worldview pertaining to certain topics. Like, for instance, if there's a guy called Gozzy who released a song recently.
I didn't even know that one, man.
Called Love You Forever. That song, people may not call that a gospel song, but it's Christian music because it speaks about love in the context of biblical marriage and commitment and so on. And it can play on a gospel station, but you may not necessarily call that gospel because it is not it's not directing someone to accept Jesus Christ. It's really confessing or testifying about God's foundation in a marriage that is loving and sustainable. So you have to look at that. And if you say contemporary Christian music or contemporary gospel music, simply about entertainment, someone will ask the question, when Jesus spoke in parables, and he did not give the meaning to it, was he entertaining the listeners? Right? Because at the end of the day, I don't see anything wrong with Christian entertainment. And if the person is a Christian entertainer, don't try to put them in the box of a gospel evangelist.
Okay.
Which is totally
different
and both can exist. And in the same way, you have Christian artists that would sing worship music, and his music to edify the body of Christ, his music in terms of worship and praise and so on. And then there are other Christian artists who think that their calling is to evangelize the gospel, and their music is going to target persons who are unsaved, persons who are unchurched, and is going to connect with them in the language that they understand, but delivering the gospel in a way that is relatable to them. So some people who are on the Christian, or let me say the gospel side, they look at that song and say, well, I can't relate to it, and I don't understand what the person is saying, so that can't be the gospel. That's just entertainment because of the song like Raga. But for the person who's unsaved, they connect with it, and then they come and say, but how can I get to know more about what you're talking about? Because that's something foreign to me. I was never church. I don't understand the concepts that you're talking about in terms that you want to know more about this. So you can't just put everything in a box and say, well, yeah, everything is gospel. Everything is not gospel music, in my opinion. But what makes the difference is who does it represent or who does it point to. And that is where we have endorsing Christian, kingdom culture is where we use our name, because we would choose music and artists that endorse the culture of the kingdom and serve the king.
So you're selective. You are selective in those that you align yourself with.
Yes, very selective. We have a radio show called Buffet Saturdays, and we don't play, interesting enough, we don't play every gospel song on that station. There are certain songs that we would play because we know the audience that we're targeting, and there are certain songs that we wouldn't play because of that.
Well, I can see where they're listening to. She's a musician as well. She's a wonderful singer. Yes, you will hear your praises this morning. Not that you bet my arm or anything like that, but you're going to hear the praises this morning. She was a wonderful singer. I know that she was listening intently as you were speaking. So another question is going to follow on from this area of...
You know me well.
Quite well.
You know me quite well. I'm trying to
and this is not what Hillary would to be starting. It's not.
I'm trying to fashion this question. You know me too well, you know. Anyhow, I'm trying to fashion this question in a way that can be understood by our audience. You talked about gospel Christian music, and I do understand that, because that is something that I think people, especially younger artists coming up, need to understand. I think we just want to sing because we can sing, and we love. Christ has done a lot for us, but we need to go deeper. Now, this is a question that and a lot of colleagues of mine have been talking about in terms of Is the music first or the lyrics? Because there are some Christian gospel songs. I'm going to talk with Christian and gospel and not put the inspirational. That the beat grabs you before the lyrics. And then sometimes you forget what the song is about, but you remember the beat. Then there are some songs. Today, this morning I was listening to a song, and you could tell it's reggae, but it was very slight, and I was a bit disappointed because I love reggae. And love reggae.
That's good.
I love reggae, and I heard it was a hymn. It was a hymn because I know the hymn. I knew what it was saying. Or the lyrics is what attracting the people. Do artists aim for the lyrics to attract the people first, then the music, or the music, then the lyrics?
All right, I think when you look at music, music is a very intentional product. And it's not just the music, as you would say. There's the lyrics, and there's also something what they call the intent. The intent is what is the message or what is the outcome that the persons involved in creating this product want. So if I want you to dance, right, my lyrics may have dance, 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 dance. But if my music is not intentionally marrying with that, I may not achieve the intent that I have, right? So I think all three have to come together. Now, a lot of people, the whole contention of, I don't know if you were alluding to this, but can we take Christian or biblical lyrics and put it on what people call a secular beat and call it a gospel song?
That's a controversial subject all by itself.
Right? And I think for me, how you approach it is based on that intent. Some people will say, well, look, I want a particular type of beat because I know this beat relates to these type of persons, and these are the persons I'm trying to reach. And once they hear that beat, that is my hook for them to then receive the message. Other people say, well, I have a real good hook in my message. So a hook in the song is a repeated phrase in the song. When people hear that hook, they're going to remember my song and hold on to it. And I think a really good song has the beat or the, I would call that the rhythm, really, and not the beat. The rhythm that identifies with the audience I'm trying to connect with, a really good hook that makes it memorable, along with the lyrics that drive the message and the intent of everything coming together. So I can't say that one is greater than the other, but great songs would have a good marriage of both. All three.
So you're saying there's a balance?
They're great songs that have a balance. There are some songs that have marvelous hook. You can't remember the beat of the song, but you know the hook. But then there are songs that have a great beat, but you can't remember. I just know that beat. That guitar lick was in there, but I can't remember the lyrics and so on.
Because I guess people want to know why Israel asking these questions about lyrics and music, because it draws younger people. Young people love music. All people love music, but we realize that gospel artists have a lot of influence in how young people are impacted. And many times there's music and being around a lot of young people, say younger people, I'll say younger people. And we find that a lot of them like the beat, and then you ask them, what is the song about? So there is that imbalance right there. And then
I would cross with saying this. Music is so influential on the brain.
Yes.
That even though you may not be listening to the lyrics right now.
Right.
Because you repeatedly listen to the song, those lyrics will
It is correct. You're correct.
So you can be traveling, and we experience this if you travel on any public transportation. You do not like the song, you don't like the lyrics, the beat will be hooky or whatever it is, you get out that van, you are not paying attention, but 15 minutes down the road,
You find
the song plays in your head.
Yeah.
Right? So I would say that even if the person is using the beat as the hook, with repeated listenership, the lyrics could eventually play a role in that.
Okay, Ryan, continue, because I think that needs to come back again. There's a lot more questions I have to ask, but I will give you
Of course.
really to
of
answer
course.
your question.
Now, there may be some of our listeners who may be asking themselves, but what does this have to do with young people in the church?
A lot.
This music, and they take no way for alluded to it. The fact that music tends to draw young people. Now, we have a situation where we recognize many of our churches are lacking many our young people. And on this program, we've had guests who established their opinions as relates to why this situation is happening. Now, I want you to think very carefully about this. Would you agree with the concern that there needs to be more unity among churches as it relates to reaching young people? And before you answer, I want to go deeper than that. I want to go to your arena, the music arena. You mentioned Christian artists, you mentioned gospel artists. If our objective, you mentioned objectives as well, if our objectives are the same, to reach and to bring these young people to Christ, would you say there's enough unity among the Christian musicians, and that should extend to churches as well, shouldn't it?
So you're asking two different types.
Two different types of questions, but I'm hoping that they go along the same wicket.
All right. So let me stay first in terms of the churches,
Yeah.
the unity amongst the churches. I think for the first time, not the first time, not the first time, I think Barbados, the church community of Barbados has strayed away from what made it strong before, which is the whole coming together. I do think there are still some bodies of churches that come together, and youth groups would come together, but when I was growing up as a youth leader, we valued connecting with other youth groups because it created community. Other young people got to see other young people outside of their church community involved in worship and passionate about God and that sort of stuff. And those type of things help to build community that makes them feel a place of belonging, all right? What we also saw, and I never know this is out of the box for you, but it is a reality in working with young people. What that did, when you had youth groups coming together, is that other young people saw interests and attractions in other young people. And it felt like, hey, this is from someone that loves God and loves God, and there's somebody I could talk to and that sort of stuff. You have a dynamic now where I recognize there are a lot of Christian leaders that smother their young people, right? And the young people are growing up in churches where they think that, I am in here alone.
I myself.
And they're like two boys or two girls that in my age group that are here, and like, I am stressing, I can't live, I can't breathe, that type of way. And when there are events and opportunities for them to connect with other young people, churches are like, no, we ain't sending our young people to that because I don't know who that is, or I ain't trusting this person because they're trying to get all the young people in Barbados. We have all these
Trying to steal my sheep.
Steal sheep, trying to influence this, because I think there are some leaders who are, they don't want to face reality, that they know that probably they are not catering to their youth. And that if their youth sees something different, they may feel like, hey, why can't we be more like them, or why can't we do something like this? And it's going to put a pressure on them, like, no, I don't want that sort of accountability, if you want to call it that, in terms of catering to young people. I know churches that, since COVID, have not restarted a youth group. Right? So the question is asked, how many churches do we really value our young people? And in valuing them, I'm talking about empowering them. Empowering them meaning, are they involved in not only doing things in church, but using them to help reach other young people? How are we empowering them to get involved in the media in church, get involved in worship, get involved in the teachings and stuff like that, get involved with evangelism and so on. So we have that. When it comes now to the Christian side in terms of the artists,
Yes.
I think that the artists end up working within the same silos that exist. There are few, you don't have a situation where the artist can thrive or artists can have more influence because everybody's keeping
Their own
over there.
Yes.
And therefore, where the artist could cement, music and arts and culture help to cement the identity of a community. Where you could have that now, there's no room for that. So young people in church will see other young people from school, fetting, enjoying all this, going out, doing their things in what they call living life. And now living life for them is coming to church 2-3 hours on a Sunday to sit down to listen to someone on pulpit preach, not being able to ask questions and not really being involved in anything. So it's like you are in a box, you are confined. There's no room for expression, there's no room for connection, there's no room for community. And I think when we could address that, we can see a flood of young people coming to Christ. And that's one of the things that Echo Nation wants to do. We want to partner with churches and serve churches. There are some churches that don't have an idea of how can we reach young people or don't have the resources to do it. We are building those connections with being able to connect with them. We connect with them in schools, connect with them in different areas. And in being involved in those things, we know, we understand the pulse of them. And if we can get resources that can say, let's bring these young people together, point them to Christ, and give them a hope and a future, I think that would be remarkable.
Excellent. Now, I'm going to ask my wife to wrap us up because I know that she has probably one more question she wants to ask. So her time is very limited. So you can actually wrap us up and then let persons know about the rally in November as well.
If I ask a question, we will run out of time. So I'll just make a comment. I'm serious. We need to have you, Gozzy, would you like to be back again so that we can have a part two to this? I'm asking that.
I have no problem with that because I think we've dealt with music, and I think that one of the things that church need to look at is the whole aspect of social media. I think social media is a very big pillar in shaping the identity and the attention of young people.
I have a few more questions about music though, so I could tell you into that.
Yes.
So you want to thank Arnal, Gozzy, Goslin.
Correct.
Yes, I have it correct.
And don't forget the beautiful
Yes,
Natasha.
I cannot forget that. And his wife, beautiful Natasha Goslin, who are the founders of Echo Nation. Remember, both of them founded it? You see this husband and wife thing, working out right in
Tag team.
All right. So we want to thank Gozzy for coming, and he's going to come again. So we have an announcement to make pertaining to our rally on Saturday, 9th of November at the Bay Street Esplanade, and it's going to be beginning, I think, at 4 p.m. And we're asking all people to come out. We're going to give you some more information as it comes to hand. And that is it for Family and Faith today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and God bless you.
God's priority is for families. It's up to you and me. Let's put family first. Strong families building strong societies. It's up to you and me. Let's put family first. Marriage between man and woman is what God says. First. Just follow His direction. That is the only way. First. Let's build a better Barbados, better families. Happy, secure, safe, and stable homes in community.